this video will provide a brief overview of the topics related to human resources management. These topics will include employee recruitment, employee selection, training and development, performance planning and evaluations, employee compensation and benefits, labor relations, managing grievances, the legal aspects involved in labor relations, and the trends in human resources. There are 7 steps to the human relations management process. First is job analysis and design, then human resource planning and forecasting. The third step is recruitment. Next is employee selection. Once someone is hired, they go through the 5th step, which is training and development, and they go through a process of performance planning and evaluation. The last part of human relations management is compensation and benefits. The first step in the human relations management process is job analysis and design. This is when a human relations manager analyzes the job and creates a document that lists the tasks that are done on an hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. To design a position, they must also review the equipment being used in that position and determine the daily amount of lifting and standing. Then they write up a job description that lists the requirements for the job and necessary qualifications. The second step in the human relations management process is planning and forecasting. This step involves observing and analyzing data to determine the amount of staff needed for particular positions. The 4th step in the human relations management process is employee recruitment. During this phase, human relations managers must seek out qualified job applicants who fit the requirements of the job based on the previous step of job analysis and design. When a new position is created or becomes vacant, human relations managers seek employees to fill those vacancies by searching 2 markets. The first market is the internal labor market. This is when a position is filled by an applicant that is already working for the company, but this may leave vacancies in other areas within the company. The second market is the external labor market. This is a market of individuals who are currently employed elsewhere or seeking employment. This is when recruitment is necessary. There are 4 best practices that support external job recruitment for employees. The first human relations practice is to attend in-person events such as job fairs. Another way to enlist external employees is by performing an online job recruitment. This is when an HR manager or human relations manager posts the job opening on various internet platforms like monster.com, indeed.com, and LinkedIn. This can be very costly, but it's necessary for most businesses. During the process, human relations managers must utilize social media, make advertisements, etc. The final best practice to support HR managers in recruitment is branding. Having a positive image is very important when seeking employees. Candidates seeking jobs are more likely to apply for a job for a company that they like or has a positive social presence. Selection of applicants is the next stage of the human relations process. The first step in this stage is the initial screening. This is when the employee completes the application and turns in their resume. During this phase, HR managers are seeking key terms and phrases within the context of the applicant's resume that matches the job description. The second step of selection is employment testing. This might include competency-based tests for math or writing skills. Sometimes this may involve taking a test on emotional intelligence or even personality tests. The third step is a selection interview. During this interview, most applicants are asked to review details in their resume, such as skills and educational background. During interviews, hiring committees will ask questions and often require sample work products or demonstrations. After the interview, the background check and reference check is completed to confirm the details listed in the resume. and ask questions regarding the capabilities of the applicants. If necessary, physical exams and drug tests may be required for the position, and after all of those are completed, the decision to hire must be considered. Once an employee is selected, they must go through a training process. This can be done in many formats. There are two types of training: on-the-job training and off-the-job training. On-the-job training can be done through mentorships and other types of trainings that are done on site, while off-the-job training consists of going to another location to train, or even working with an online platform to learn the skills and knowledge required to be successful in the new position. The next phase in the human relations management process is performance planning and evaluations. This phase consists of 4 steps. First, the manager sets performance standards. Then the employee works hard to meet those standards and expectations. Next, the employee's supervisor evaluates the employee's overall performance, attitude, and work-related knowledge and skills. Then the manager either rewards the employee with a raise or a promotion, or sets up an improvement plan for that employee in order to reach expectations. Throughout the improvement process, the manager must provide positive feedback to the employee in order to help them improve and motivate them to meet expectations. This brings us to the next phase of the human relations management process: compensation and benefits. When companies hire, create new jobs, and promote employees, they must consider what types of compensation they will provide and what benefits employees will receive. When determining compensation, the HR manager must consider the pay structure and internal factors. For instance, they may look at the various job functions and salaries and wages within the organization. They must also consider the pay level and external influences. For example, the HR manager may do research on the competition to see how much they are paying employees at various levels of employment. There are 2 types of compensation: direct and indirect. Direct pay is how much you get paid hourly or by project. Indirect pay would include things like benefits. Employees who are paid commission or stipends get incentive pay to reach a goal or an expectation. Other benefits could include workers' compensation, which is time and money when a person gets injured on the job, or unemployment for when the employee may need to be let go. What other types of benefits do companies offer? A labor union is an organization that represents workers in dealing with management over disputes involving wages, hours, and working conditions. Union management has 3 phases: union organizing, negotiating a labor agreement, and administering the agreement. The first phase of organizing is just getting together to form a union. The second phase involves collective bargaining. This is a process of negotiation involving a labor agreement and compensation and working arrangements that are mutually agreed upon. The third phase is daily administration of the labor agreement. The structure of the labor movement consists of 3 parts. First, the local union, then national and international. Third is union federations. A local union is a branch or a unit of the union that represents one region or location. The main functions of the local union are membership services, bargaining, and community activities. A local union may elect a shop steward to handle the memberships and complaints and represent the union with their collective bargaining negotiations. A national union consists of several local unions and covers a greater region. But due to mergers, these national unions are in a steady decline. A federation is a collection of unions who work together to organize, promote activities, and public relations. Read more about unions in the textbook Introduction to Business by Lawerence Gitman and his colleagues, published by OpenStax in 2018. Some of the things that labor unions enforce when organizations do not follow contract agreements is employee grievances. A grievance is a formal complaint by an employee or a union that management has broken one of the commitments of the labor agreement. Grievances are usually handled by arbitration, which is a process of settling a dispute. Some tactics that unions will use to pressure contract settlements are striking, boycotting, picketing, and corporate campaigns. There are federal regulations that support employees and job applicants so they are not treated unjustly. Several laws govern wages, pensions, and unemployment. There are also laws in place to reduce discrimination and unjust treatment. OSHA is an organization called the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. They set workforce standards, safety standards, training, and determine employee compliance. The EEOC, or Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, was created in 1964 along with the Civil Rights Act to process discrimination complaints, issue written regulations, and gather information. Affirmative action programs can be set up by employers to expand job opportunities to minoritized individuals to prevent discrimination. According to the textbook, some of the trends in human relations are employee diversity, outsourcing, technology, organizational culture, and service workers joining labor forces. Educational and business-related studies have found that having diversity in the workplace improves equity-driven decision-making by providing multiple perspectives. In studies of adult learning scenarios, diversity has been suggested to increase learning ability and help to promote innovative ideas. This can be used to help the company gain a competitive advantage. Another trend is outsourcing HR and using technology to recruit and train employees. With the rise of technology, this is not surprising. Corporate culture also provides a competitive advantage. Reflecting on a company's core values and using them as a way to select employees for organizational fit has become increasingly more common as companies take into account their culture. The last trend discussed in the text is that service workers are joining labor unions. Some unions are targeting employees with low wages to form unions in order to support disadvantaged communities and low-paid employees.